Hello, welcome to the G.I. Joe New News Classified Reviews. My name is David T. Allen, or if you would like, Super Dave 817. If you would like to see more of this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button for future videos. Thank you and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the G.I. Joe New News Classified Review. I am David Allen, or if you would like, Super Dave. We are here to talk about Zandar, number 146 in the classified line, and we have hit 2025 finally in the classified line. We started 5 years in the past. We've worked our way up to 2025. Now we're only a year behind, so hopefully we'll get to through all of 25, and then we will moving into whatever we get new for 2026. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat this morning, or this afternoon, I should say, since it's after 12 now. Good morning, Michael Gene Fleming. Thank you for joining us. We're coming a little bit later than a normal time today. What's good on lunch? Stuffing my face, gunpowder nitro. Well, enjoy yourself. Be careful. Don't choke or anything like that. I would hate to see that happen. So this is not going to be a very long video. It's going to be a very quick video because we only got one figure to cover instead of a HasLab and 4 figures and all kinds of history and stuff like that. So hopefully you'll be able to finish this before you have to go back from lunch. So this is a character that I've been wanting to cover for a while. I've been waiting for this character to come. It's one of my favorite characters, and it is Zandar from the Dreadnoks, the twin brother of Zarana from the Dreadnoks, the brother of Zartan. And this is, from all reports, this is supposed to be one of the better figures. And I have this figure in my top 10 best figures of 2025 without having to open it yet. I did that video like about a month ago or so when we did the a little under a month, I guess, when we did our top 2025 classified items with 610 Yojo Daddy was in the on the stream with me, sharing that with me and enjoying that. It's one of those situations where you get fondness for characters when you're young, and then you keep that fondness, and when they do new versions of it, you're like, wow, look at that. And sometimes they let you down with the new version, but sometimes they elevate the character, or they elevate that version to a better version. And so that was the case with Zandar with this classified figure from all reports. So he's going to be 146. So we got a little bit of history to go into first. So we're going to go to Dan Klingsmith's series of books, and that is volume number 2 of Creating G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero by Dan Klingsmith Jr. So let's see. There's Zandar. There's some artwork, some renders, some ideations of him, some different Dreadnought tampos, some color ideations on there, talking about his bandana and his tattoos and different things like that. His sculpt. And so let's see what they have to say. Alternate names, NA, year release 1986, designed by Ron Rudat. And you'll see those tattoos on there without any chest emblem or anything there. See that tattoo on that ideation? Similar to the other Dreadnoks, Ron shared that he pulled different elements from the Mad Max movies when designing Zandar. Like his brother Zartan and his sister Zarana, the parts molded in flesh color photochromatically changed to purple magenta when exposed to light. So the original Zandar had a color changing effect in the sunlight. I don't believe the new figure does that. The only figure that Hasbro has done that with is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Zartan. He's the only one, and it's in cold that he does that, not in sun. But there's a lot of really cool items about Xandar. One of the things that I really like is he's a twin. He's a fraternal twin, which means that he's a male part of a male female duo, which is Zorana. And so they're one half of the set of twins, and one's a male, one's a female. So that's why he's fraternal. And because I'm a twin, I have a little bit of expertise on the twin aspect of this. So there you go. Okay, so then we're going to go into the art of Collecting the Art of G.I. Joe, Volume 3, 1986 to 1987, by R. Carson Metaxas and 3D Joes. Let's see. Man, the Zartan card back classified is going for $150. Then you throw in $200 for a Snake Eyes. That's $350 for 2 card backs. Yeah. Storm Shadow, Zartan, and Snake Eyes, I would say, are the most hard to get out of all those original 8. Gunpowder Nitro. Hey, all. Brandon, hey, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Gunpowder Nitro is saying hello to Brandon. Hey, y'all. All right, so then we go into the package. And it's really convenient that Zandar is right next to his sister Zarana. And I really like those decos on those vintage figures. They really stood out to me, and the twin aspect of them and the cool looking designs of them, they really stood out as cool figures, and they added a new element to the Dreadnoks, gave the Dreadnoks a little bit more flair, color, pizzazz. I don't know what you want to call it, but I really liked Xandar as a child, and he really stood out as one of my favorites as a child. Everybody's saying hello to everybody in the chat. So then we got Xandar and Zorana's first appearance was in issue 51 of A Real American Hero by Marvel Comics and written by Larry Hama. A lot of the Dreadnoks appear for the first time. We get Monkey Wrench, we get Thrasher, we got Xandar, Zorana, all appeared in this issue for the first time. And Xandar appeared in the miniseries Arise, Serpentor, Arise, when they had the tournament of the Dreadnoks to get their ranks larger. They did a contest to bring in a couple of new members, and Xandar and Zorana were there for that competition with the original Dreadnoks, Buzzer Ripper and Torch and Zartan. So then we have the vintage figure. There you go. We have his bone arrow quiver backpack there. Put that on his back. There. He's very sturdy. He's very clean. Doesn't look like there's any paint scrapes or anything. He looks like he's all together, and he has that lightning on his chest, that tattoo lightning. He has those shoulder pauldrons that are very synonymous with the Zartan family. Zartan has them, Zorana has them, and Xandar has them. And Zartan's daughter is going to have it as well when we get to her in 2026, Zanya. And I think Heart Wrencher also has those shoulder pauldrons. And I think Ninja Force Scarlet also has those same similar shoulder pauldrons as well. And then we have his rifle, which is kind of like a, I don't know if you want to call it an arrow rifle or whatever, but it looks very similar to Spirits in that respect. There you go. And I love the fact that he's got the orange hair. He's got kind of those little tattoos on his face as well. He really has a very nice deco with the blues and the golds and the red hair and the pink handkerchief. The pink handkerchief was something that he had ripped off from his sister to have something of his sister around him at all times. And I thought that was a very unique thing. Twins do that. Twins have little bitty elements of each other around them, so they can keep that connection, because a lot of twins are connected. I think they do have a psychic connection in that, so you can feel their pain and feel when they're not feeling good and things like that. In my case, I feel that that's a true part of the twins world. And 610 Yojo Daddy, he can probably speak about that, because he's also got twin sons as well, if he jumps in the chat here. So there's a vintage Zandar. So we're going to put him back in his package, and we will get to the classified version of him. There. I will put him over there. There. So, like I said, 146, and you can see that serious intent. One of the elements of the Sunbow animated series that I thought was interesting was he was so quiet and so silent. People didn't know that he was there half the time. And he was, oh my God, Zandar, when he spoke, we didn't know you were there because you're so quiet and so still that he was able to do a lot of sneaky stuff that a lot of characters couldn't do, because a lot of the other Dreadnoks were very loud. His sister was very loud. The other Dreadnoks were all very loud, but he was very quiet. I like that element of him. I don't particularly have that characteristic. I'm a very vocal person and talk a lot. And in fact, I talk kind of more because my twin brother was a little bit introverted when he was young. He was more the Zandar and I was more the Zorana in that duo. And it's reversed with Zandar and Zorana in this. So this is the 146th figure. We've gone through 145 previously, and then 21 vintage retro package and 4 60th anniversary legacy figures so far. So we are moving right along with this. So then we have the Target artwork, which I really like with him on there, and then the QR code to nowhere and the designations. So we're going to go into those designations real quick and see what they have to say on that. So we have the Skull and Crossbones, which I think is Mercenary. Yep, that's Mercenary. The money with the bones is Mercenary. Then we have the 3 arrows, which I think is arrow weapons. And then we have the like, it looks like a snake motif or whatever thing, infiltration. And then we have the eye with the arrow through the eye, and I think we have that. Where's the arrow or the eye? No, let's see the arrow. No, it's not on these. So I'm going to go to my other designations. Well, I can't go to my other. Well, I might be able to. Hold on. I'll see if I can go to my other designations. Everybody's saying hello to everybody in the chat. Lenny Honda, good morning. Thanks for joining us today. I came a little bit later today. I'm sorry, everybody. Hopefully that didn't throw everybody off. I had some errands I had to do this morning. Let's see if I can find my other ones. All right, so all right. So I can't find it. Let's see. Do it this way. There he is. All right. We got it now. So the one with the eye. is, sorry, it's taking me a minute to find this. The one with the eye is Stealth. The one with the eye is Stealth. There you go. So that's your designations for this one. All right. All right. So then we have the gunpowder. It happens we all got grown up stuff too. Yep. To do. Yep. Espionage. Yeah. It was Stealth, Brandon. Wrong guess, I guess. That's okay. So then we have the render, the photography artwork by Shooting the Galaxy, Matt and Mike, and it looks really cool. He's in that garage again. He's got the soda cans there. He's got a motorcycle. He's got a couple of call outs on that package for his tattoo and one of his shoulder pauldrons. And there's some little call outs on these posters in the back. Let's see if I can see what they are. One's, I think, a cold slither. It might be a Japanese Cobra symbol poster from Japan when they did G.I. Joe over there. And then we have the loadout of him. And it says Cobra Zandar. Cobra does not say Dreadnoks. I'm wondering why they don't give the Dreadnoks their own logo like they do with a lot of the other ones. But he has like it looks like a machete or something there, and that knife. So he's ready to attack whoever he's after. So we're gonna get him out of the package and we'll see what he's got, and then we can really get a good look at him. He's one of these figures that I've been wanting to look at for quite a while now since he came out, and because I promised I was gonna wait to do these, I did them all in order. We have the Cobra emblem in the inside. That's another one where they should have the Dreadnought emblem in there. So I'm going to put that down there. So I waited till we could get to his number before I could open him. And there you go. And we are here. And here he is. I'm going to adjust this camera slightly because it looks like there's a little bit of glare. And I don't want there to be a glare. There, is that better? Yeah, that's better, I think. You can see that face print there. He's got those tattoos on his face. He's got that bandana around his neck. That Zorana is part of her costume. He's got the red hair. He's got a secondary, which he did not have a secondary. But from what I understand, now this is going to be tricky to see this. They did the tattoos. So you can see a bit of the tattoo underneath that secondary. So if you want to take that secondary off, you can do the traditional Zandar, like his vintage one, which didn't have that secondary. It just had a holster on there instead. So you could take that off of this one and just have the tattoos if you wanted to. According to the Hasbro team, you can take that secondary off. So it has the holster for the gun on there, like the vintage one. But here's the callouts. It's got that gold skull on those shoulder pauldrons on both sides that really stand out. Very brightly colored gold. And he's got like gold chains and a gold buckle. And he's got these knucks, these gold knucks on his hands as well. Both of his hands have the gold knucks for fighting. Or just one of them has the gold on the hand, I guess. Would you buy a new in-box classified snake armor for $150? I think there are better deals out there. Gunpowder Nitro. I would do a little bit more research, see if you can find a better deal. If you're able to go to a convention, I think you could probably find them a little cheaper than that. Talk to your brothers, Joe Bros, and see if you can find a better deal. I think that's a little pricey. I would say, I think because it was $79.99 with the pre-order, and then if you include shipping and handling and this and that, it was probably 80, 87 or 88. So the most that I would go up is maybe 120. So if you can get it for 120 or less, that's where I would look. I think 150 is a little pricey right now, considering that's only been out for like 4 months. So I would, if it was me, I would try to find a better deal. I found a better deal with one of our Joe Bros on here. In fact, Lone Dragon gave me a really good deal. I got two of them from Lone Dragon for $200. So I think you can find a better deal. That's just me. I would look for a better deal. So then he has another holster here, and then he has another holster in the back on his belt there. So he's got a lot of holsters. And I do kind of like these boots. They're very unique to Zandar. They're not, there's no reuse in these boots. And there's like a little metal like thing that he could use to kick stuff with gold on it. And he's got these little highlights on the boots, on the buckles and stuff like that. They're definitely a new style of boot that we've never seen before. I do like all this grayish blue. I thought the bright blue was nice for the vintage, but I think the grayish blue stands out a little bit better in this particular one. He's definitely more Mad Maxian in my opinion, definitely closer to the Mad Max aesthetic that Ron Rudat was going for in that article. 610 Yojo Daddy, what's up, Super Dave? This Zandar was next level. Oh yes, it was. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us again. They did such a good job on Zandar. Banger of a figure. Brandon, yes, thank you very much. Yeah, I've been waiting to get to this figure. I was talking about how we did the 610 Yojo Daddy, our top I don't know if it was it Woody that I did that? The 2025? Yeah, it was Woody I did the top 25 video with. I think. Yeah. So I got to show off my Zandar. He also had Zandar in his top 10. But I like the balance of all the browns and the golds and the blues and the grays, the darker blues, the red hair, that color pop with the handkerchief around, or the section of the shamak there that he has. And there's the tattoo that they gave him right there that had the call out on the package. It's a dreadnought tattoo with some lightning. So he's got a lot of really nice elements. And I like the a little bit of that leather pattern in that gauntlet on his side. It's just they put so much more work into these figures now with all the little details and little things that they give him. There's a little bit of armor in the knee pads there that matches his holster. There's so much stuff in this. Michael Gene Fleming, Action Figure 411 tracks eBay prices. Right now, the Snake is going for an average of 122 in auctions and 144 for buy it now. So there you go. Lone Dragon, hey, Super Dave. Hey, Lone Dragon, I was just talking about you. Thanks for joining us. Terrence Charles, hello, happy birthday to me. Yes, Terrence, happy birthday. We have a very close birthday. Mine was a couple days ago, and yours is today. My twin brother's was also a couple days ago. And then I have another friend of mine that was on Saturday. Two friends, in fact, that were on Saturday. So there's a lot of people that have birthdays. And then my partner's birthday is on Sunday this week. I want Zandar, but I'm waiting for a price drop. I've never seen him lower than 27 yet, because he's a good figure. See, when you find good figures, they don't go down that much. You can find figures that aren't that great or just generic or whatever. You can find them cheaper. But if it's a banger figure like this, it's harder to get them at a decent price. Happy birthday. Yay. So he's really nice. He's got a lot of nice details and a lot of good color deco. And the fact that they did that tattoo underneath that secondary, that's a detail that I would not have expected them to do something like that. But they did do that. So let's get into some of his accessories. So excuse that noise. So he has a different backpack than he had on the vintage. He had like more of a quiver, kind of a quiver on his vintage. This was more of a backpack with arrows sticking out of the ends of it, and it's kind of got some black deco on that. So it's slightly different than his vintage. 610 Yojo Daddy, happy birthday, Terrence. Uh, Terrence Childs, does he change color? No, he does not change color, unfortunately. The only one out of these classified figures, Dreadnoks, that changes colors was the Zartan from the San Diego Comic Con set. That's the only one that changed colors. Maybe we'll get another set of Dreadnoks more close to their original deco. Maybe they'll do a 2-pack of Zandar Zarana, and then maybe they'll make them color changing down the road. That's a possibility. You never know. Because I think there is room for other versions of these. You know, there's a lot of green, that Deke color of Zarana. Has appeared quite often. She was also in the Order of Battle in that deco, and she appeared in some of the comics in that deco. So I think you could do another Zarana in more of a Deke colors, that green, that type deco, and then Zandar maybe go back and do a brighter blue and take the secondaries off and make him closer to his vintage. Maybe give him a quiver and a bow and arrow or something like that. So there are things you could do with these to make them different and give us a different variations on them. So I hope so. I would like to get another Zandar. There was also his Devil's Due version that was quite different, much different variation on Zandar. And maybe we'll get that someday. You never know. There's a lot of options in classified. We're just as many as we've gotten like close to 200 and something figures and items now. They're just scratching the surface of this. If they keep going for the next 10 years, let's see. Corey Flood, hello. Are you a new person in the chat? I don't recognize your name. Do you think Zandar will get a retro card putting him back in his neo pink brighter blue? I hope so. I would like that because it's a very distinct, beautiful figure. Here it is. Here you go. Very distinct, very beautiful, very nice figure. A lot of new, different elements, and give him the color change. And maybe that's what we can get with the Zarana and Zandar. Maybe if they did them again, they would give them the color change. But yeah, I hope so. Thanks for joining us, Corey Flood 357. We appreciate it, or I appreciate it. All right, so then let's see what else does he have. He has this like little kind of machete type thing, or a little axe thing. I don't know what you would call this because I don't recognize this. He did not have this on the vintage, but it is like the Mad Maxian element that they were talking about in the Dan Klingesmith book with Ron Rudat. He gave him this little weird axe. So I'm not sure. I guess you could put that axe in this sheath here. Let's see if that's where that goes. Yeah, goes right in there. So he has that little sheath on his right leg for that little axe type thing. And then he has a very interesting knife. This is the knife that he's showing on the package. And it looks like it's one of those switchblade knives with the little doodad. Very reminiscent of the 80s switchblades that a lot of the gangs used and stuff. Not that I know, but so there's another sheath for that goes in the back of his belt there. So we're going to stick that in there, I think. Yep, that's where that goes, there. So he's got an axe, and he's also got a knife. And then we have his pistol, which he had a pistol on the vintage one, but it was molded on. So this one, it's going to go on his secondary right there in that holster. There, put that in there. And there's a little bitty strap that you can make sure that's strapped on there. So he does a lot of martial arts type stuff with his fighting. So they wanted to make sure that was strapped on so it wouldn't fall off. So there you go. Let's see. Gunpowder Nitro. That figure would be a wonderful in card back, the colors alone. Oh, yeah. I agree with you. And they would use the techno coloring around it. And it would really pop, I think, on a Zandar. Well, let's see. We can look at his package again. We can actually look at his package, and you can see what it would look like if they did that, because there it is right there. Look how cool that is. You can't really see the colors as much on this, but it's really cool. And as a larger figure, it'll be even better. Even better. All right. So we got his gun in there, his pistol. All right. So we got one more accessory, and that is this really big gun. And it has the arrow on it. You can see the deco of that arrow. So they kept with the vintage one. They did the arrow on it. I would like to have had maybe a little arrow you could stick into the quiver back there. This is a new gun, by the way. This is a brand new gun for him. Completely new. A lot of really good detail. They put a lot of work into this Zandar figure. They gave us a lot of new with this figure. Let's put it in his hand here. I don't know what that noise was, but some sort of noise. All right, so there's that rifle with that grappling hook. And so that's all of Zandar with all of his gear. There's so much really cool elements on this figure. I really like that little wrist guard there. There's some different deco also in the secondary. You can't really tell. There's some blue, darker blue, and some like grayish blue. There's also some like chainmail on this secondary shoulder pauldron there underneath that skull. There's a lot of detail in the tattoo. There's flames and stuff going up his arm to match the tattoos on his face. And one of the elements you can't really tell, I'd have to open this up in order to get it. But I know from other people telling me or me watching other reviews, there's a scar. I believe he has a scar on his neck. I don't know if you can see that right there, but there's a scar in there. He has a scar on his neck to give him that, okay, he's been through a little of stuff there. So he has a bit of a scar there on his neck. And not a lot of people know about that, but that is a characteristic of Zandar because he's been a street kid his whole life, living on the streets with his sister and everything. That's how he got into the Dreadnoks and stuff, and of course his brother. But the whole thing with Zartan's a whole another situation. But so he is definitely a street kid that grew up on the streets. Any predictions on who will be the next classified Dreadnought, Zanzibar or Thrasher? That's a good question, actually. Corey Flett, I'm hoping Zanya. We've got two Dreadnoks coming that we know of. Zanya and Zartan Ninja Force. So those are the two Dreadnoks we know of. There's been a rumor for over a year now that we're going to get Thrasher and the Thunder Machine. So I believe that'll be the order. We will probably get Zanya, probably name only, or I should say render revealed, because we got her name only already. And then we will probably get Zartan from the Ninja Force will be in the next batch. I'm going to guess down a little bit. or maybe Zartan will be in the next batch of um, figure reveals, render reveals, and Zanya will be with a figure and vehicle, and then she will also be revealed. So they'll both be around the same time, but their two positions in classified will be different. One will be part of the mainline 5-figure wave. One will be a figure and vehicle, small vehicle release. So that's how that'll be. And then Thrasher will probably be a large, either a $100 vehicle with Thrasher by himself with a bunch of cool elements, or if they do the MTR model next year sometime, maybe Night Thrasher and that weird other guy that's with him that's not really Monkey Wrench. He's some other Dreadnought, and then some much more Mad Maxian parts that you can mix and match and modularize the Thunder Machine and do a lot of different stuff with the Thunder Machine, because it's made out of parts of a Camaro from the 80s, and I think that's a little dated, but I think you could include parts of that, but also include maybe parts of a Vamp or a Stinger or something else, and really change it up and get this like modular ability. Maybe get a turret with missiles on it. Maybe get different front ends with different guns on it. Do all kinds of fun stuff. And then if they did that, then I can see them going up higher and doing it as an MTR situation. That's my gut feeling. I don't see Zanzibar coming this year. I think maybe they need to save some Dreadnoughts for next year, because they've been doing a little Dreadnought each year. So we'll see how it goes. That's my theory on that. Corey Flood 357. I'm hoping Zanya. There you go. All right, so we have a stand. We're going to put him on this stand. He also has all the main points of articulation. Zandar does. He's got the butterflied shoulders. He's got the double pin elbows, the double pin knees, the foot rocker articulation. I just stuck in here. I have that adjustable foot rocker there. He's got, let's see, he's got the secondary ankle articulation there. He's got the thigh and the calf articulation. He's got the ab crunch. He's got the head articulation there. He's got the wrist articulation. He's got the crotch and leg articulation. He does not have the secondary wrist or the twisty wrist articulation. So those are two articulation points he does not have. So he has most of the main ones that almost all the other figures have. So a couple more details. He's got that blue bandana up there that he had in the vintage. His hair is a little longer. So that's another thing. You could make his hair shorter if they did a vintage package one. And he also has the little bandana little things, which I like those details that they add to that. And on his secondary, you can see those darker straps. And he has like silver earrings as well on the ears, both of his ears. So there's a lot of superb details that are in this. You have to really, really, really look close at all this stuff. If you just stuck him on a shelf, he would look fantastic on a shelf, just like that. But when you really get into these reviews and these details, you have to notice all this stuff to call it all out. And there's nothing, I would say there's nothing wrong with this figure. He's like a perfect figure for an upgraded classified version of Zandar, and that's what this is. It's a classifying up of this character, just like the Zorana was. So that's why I hope we do get a more vintage version down the road to give a lot of different elements. The same with Zorana, and maybe give her a lot of her Deke versions and stuff like that, variations. So this is a fantastic figure. It's got to be like a top 10, almost a top 10 perfect figure in my eyes. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's great. You can see all the details and stuff. Maybe they would have given a little deco on that backpack with some of those straps there or something like that, and that padding. Maybe put a wash on that padding and put some decos on some of the straps there. But they did it on the front, but they didn't do on the backpack. It's a fabulous figure. I love those skulls that he has on the shoulder pauldrons there. and the gold chains and stuff like that. The Dreadnoks for 2025, both Dreadnoks that got released in 2025 are just phenomenal Dreadnoks. Uh, I shouldn't say the two Dreadnoks. Actually, there was 6 Dreadnoks technically in 2025. We're going to get to them eventually. Um, Shoulder articulation suffers because of the pauldrons, but given the choice, I'll take the pauldrons. Yeah, me too. Me too. I think you might have had a little bit more flexibility in the butterflied shoulders if it didn't have that secondary on there. That I think the secondary holds it in place more, so it's a little bit more stiffer. But I'm willing to give that up for now because I know this is a modern version of him, and maybe we might get that vintage version. So it looks like it's a unanimous vote on Zandar as far as how good he is. And all the videos and all the other reviews that I've watched, um, they all prove that out because he's a fantastic figure. I'm very happy to add him to my Dreadnoks shelf. And then the next one, I'm very happy to add that one as well. Because it's going to be phenomenal when we get to the next Dreadnought, and it's not that far away. In fact, there's only a handful more items we have to get through before we get to that other Dreadnought, because he's in the next batch of figures after this batch. So let's see. Even his jeans looks dirty. Awesome. Yeah, like I said, he looks like he came from the streets. His jeans look very dirty and very dingy. Maybe they could have gave him like a wash or something like that over them, and then like a brownish wash to look like he was on the streets or something. That would have been a nice detail. But after all the stuff they did do with him, I'm not going to complain about that. Maybe they could do it with the other one. Maybe they could give the brighter pants or the lighter gray with the wash, the brownish wash over to look dirty. That might be something they could do for the vintage one to differentiate him from this character, this version of the character. I hope so. So what do you guys think? Everybody thumbs up on Zandar? 2 thumbs up. Excellent figure. I think so. And I love the fact that they said in all the videos, the Hasbro Pulse videos and interviews and stuff, that they pulled that they pulled the shamak that he's wearing from Zorana's shirt, and it's all ripped and it looks like it comes from that. It's the same color and everything. So there's a lot of details. Even his jeans look dirty. Yep. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. 9.5 out of 10 for Brandon. Very good. Well, I'm glad that everybody likes characters that I like. So far, all my characters have been really good figures. My Spirit, excellent. My Crimson Guards are really good. Who else that's in my favorite? Destros have been really good. I look forward to Night Viper. Techno Viper has been awesome. Both versions of Techno Viper. A lot of my favorite figures all look really good. Brandon, I'm with you. If Retro Package would make it a 10, yeah. I think you're right. I think you're right, Gunpowder and Brandon. I think if we got a vintage version of him to go with Zorana, both of them, I think with all these details that I just described that we could get, I think you would have to change Zorana's jacket. She has like a leather jacket type of thing. They would need to change it to green or make it a shirt, and definitely give her a different head sculpt to make her different. But I think it would look really cool. I think you could do a lot of cool stuff with them. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed this. Our next video is another new Cobra, and he is a heavy hitter in the Cobra ranks, I should say. So hopefully that'll give you a clue as to who our next figure is going to be. That's going to be 147. Anything else? Did you guys get a chance to watch my HasLab Dragonfly opening with my 4 figures? Wild Bill, Ripcord, Crazy Leg, Night Force, and Glenda. I got it up there. I don't know if you can really see it up there. You can see Glenda and Wild Bill up there, but I don't know if you can really see the Dragonfly without that glare. There it is, kind of. You can kind of see the Stinger missiles on them, but that's about. But there's a glare with the lights, so you can't really see it very well. But it's up there. Um, so we got a lot of really fun characters and episodes coming up. All new, a lot of new. And then we're going to get into the Legacy series to go along with our 60th anniversary is also coming up pretty soon. So look forward to those. So I think that covers it. I want to just mention I have a G.I. Joe show in April 19th of April, the Senflow Joe show. If you're able to make it. Brandon, did you check your schedule yet to see if you guys can work that out? I would love to see you at the show. The Senflow Joe show is going to be in Deltona, Florida at the Center in Deltona in April. And it's 3 weeks after Easter. Easter's early April. We're going to be later April. And we also have Joe Fest as well. And I keep saying the 23rd through the 25th. It's actually the 26th through the 28th for Joe Fest. 26th through the 28th on Joe Fest. Hit the thumbs up, guys. Helps the algorithm. Yes, thank you, Gunpowder Nitro. That's the best thing you can do right now is hit the thumbs up, share these videos, help this channel grow. We're trying to get to the 250 subs, and then we'll go on to try to get up to 1,000 subs. A nice round number that I'd like to get to. I have to see closer to the date. Okay, Brandon, that's fine. All depends of the competition schedule at Disney. I understand. The funny thing about that is, Brandon, we've seen those competitions in Florida for years and years and years. Going back to the 90s, they had those. And MegaCon is a big convention in Central Florida. It's probably the largest convention in all of Florida. And it always would be at the same time. So you'd see all these cosplay people dressed as Star Wars characters and Star Trek characters and this superheroes and things like that. And then you'd see all the cheerleaders in their cheer costumes, and they'd be walking side by side with each other because they were all at the Orange County Convention Center. And I always thought they always like paired MegaCon with that cheerleading world championship, and now they've moved it to the wide world of sports. We don't get as much of that at MegaCon anymore. But MegaCon is in March this year. It's I think the 19th through the 22nd, I believe, this year in March. And Hasbro came last year. They did the Transformers HasLab reveal at MegaCon for the new Transformers HasLab. And that was really cool to see Emily there. I hope to see her again this year. And I hope they have a much larger presence and we get some classified reveals and some other fun stuff there. So I look forward to that. So it's going to be a fun couple of months leading to my convention because there's going to be a lot of Hasbro news with G.I. Joe Day in February, the first week of February, and then Toy Fair is in the 15th, the weekend of the 15th is also in February, and then we get MegaCon, and then we get my show. So it's going to be a next fun couple of months, 2 or 3 months. Yeah, they're insane. They are insane. You're right about that. So all right, thanks guys. And I appreciate everybody in the chat. Like, share, and subscribe. And thanks everybody after the fact for joining me again. This is a bit of a late video. I apologize. I usually go earlier than this, but I had some things to do. So thanks for still coming on and chatting and hanging out with me and enjoying this figure, Zandar, of the Dreadnoks with me. And this is a big Dreadnoks video. So we're going to go with Knox Rule. Thanks, guys. We'll see you guys next time.